What's going on, everybody? Let's go over my great sword and spear build. It's very similar stat structure, if not identical stat structure, to my great axe and spear build. And that's only just because of how everything shakes out. 350 strength, over 200 dex, 50 int, 25 focus, and 50 con. You can see the structure here. That's how you'd want to set it up when it comes to the weapon masteries. Looking at my greatsword, this is how I have my greatsword mastery set up. We are taking Relentless Rush, Skyward Slash, along with Roaring Rupture. Pick all the options you see here to kind of understand the rotation of how I'm going to explain you would use this setup. It is paired with the spear. Spear, we have Cyclone. On the Impaler side, we have Perforate and Skewer. You want to pick these here and get those all set up how you want. I'd recommend picking the nodes I have set up, and we're going for the final talent of Exploited Weakness. And on the GA, we're going for the final of Unrelenting Onslaught too as well. So make sure you do those. Getting to the gear, I do recommend with the greatsword to have a greatsword with Trenchant Strikes. Right now I'm using a 2-perker because I'm on a fresh server and everything's expensive. But ideally, you would want this to be something like the Serenity, which comes with Trenchant Strikes and also Trenchant Crits, which is S tier damage. Or until you get there, you'd want to just rock with a Trenchant Strikes one. As far as the spear here, I am running a Hoplite Spear with Disdained Infliction, Enfeebling Skewer, and Keen Jagged. So that is my choice there. When it comes to the gear, Enchanted Ward and health on anything and everything you can. I recommend all the way through. Coming down to the artifact, we are running a Tuned Leather Pants. Fortifying Perforate is something you would highly need for this build for how I run it. And then also Leeching Cyclone. So damage rotations for how I run this build is I will lead out with a Skewer on whatever enemy we're attacking, followed by a Fortifying Perforate. I will Cyclone if needed, if health is needed back, so that we can get that 35% siphon back if we need it. If not, I'm switching over to my Greatsword, and then we are going to come through with a Relentless Rush. We're going to then hit a Roaring Rupture, followed by a Skyward Slash, and then we are going to then follow up with roughly 3 to 4 heavies thereafter, switching back to our spear to reapply Skewer in the same order. So Skewer, Perforate, optional Cyclone, Relentless Rush. Then we're going to do a Skyward Slash and then a Roaring Rupture. You can do Roaring Rupture, or you can do a Roaring Rupture before the Skyward Slash. You can do it after. I normally do Relentless Rush, then I'll do the Roaring Rupture and then the Skyward Slash. That way, so that on my final ability of the Skyward Slash, I end an Onslaught. So you can switch up the order if needed. If you're taking more damage, you see with the Greatsword than normal, you can choose to do the Relentless Rush into the Skyward, ending with the Rupture instead of the other way around if you want to do that. And that's just so that we can take advantage of on Roaring Rupture. If you see that you're going to get grit from it, and you're going to get that 10% fortify. It's definitely a very strong thing that you'll get from it. The Skyward Slash is great at staggering. You just want to be careful with the actual Roaring Rupture and the Shockwave out. Yes, it will give you up to 30% fortify. And then also to pair that with Perfect Vigilance, you're also going to get that extra 20% fortify too as well. So roughly 50% damage reduction you can get from these two here. But just be careful of the threat that it generates from using Roaring Rupture. That's why typically Roaring Rupture and then Skyward right out back into Onslaught Slants to try to reduce that threat on me from using that ability. So just to cover it one more time: Skewer, Perforate, optional Cyclone, Relentless Rush, Roaring Rupture, Skyward Slash. Okay? And all that should pair very well and give you guys some pretty good DPS output. And you guys should be slaying with the Great Sword along with the Spear setup too as well, to give your team great utility as well as great damage. If you got any more questions, catch me on twitch.tv/babyfnelson. Have a good one.